Assume both Italy and Greece produce only two goods, wine and olive oil. If Italy holds a comparative advantage in the production of wine, which of the following statements is not true? So we're told in this question that there are two countries, Italy, abbreviate that as I, and Greece. And they produce two goods only, wine and olive oil. And it says that Italy holds a comparative advantage in the production of wine. So they can produce wine at a lower opportunity cost than Greece can. And we're asked to find which statement is not true. So based on this information, we can clearly tell that if Italy holds a comparative advantage in the production of wine, then Greece must hold a comparative advantage in the production of olive oil, because Italy can't have the comparative advantage in both. So let's look at the answer choices. A. Italy must hold an absolute advantage in the production of wine. This is not technically true because it is possible for a country to have a comparative advantage in the production of one good, but not the absolute advantage in the production of the good. And we can see this by drawing a graph. So let's call this y-axis wine and the other x-axis olive oil. And let's just say that the Italy graph is represented by the straight line, a constant opportunity cost, and Greece is this line above it. So let's alter this a bit. So let's call Greece this line, where it's a bit more steeper towards the olive oil section. And this is Italy. So we can see that as that for every wine Greece produces, it costs them a lot more olive oil to produce, which means that for every olive oil they produce, it costs them little wine as compared to Italy, which is a bit more of a one-to-one ratio. So Italy can definitely has a competitive advantage over Greece because they can produce wine at a lower opportunity cost than Greece can. But if you look at the graph carefully, Greece can still produce more wine than Italy, but Italy still has the comparative advantage. So it's not true that Italy must hold an absolute advantage in the production of wine. It's possible that Italy still does not hold the absolute production in the production of wine. So A seems to be the correct answer. B. Greece holds a comparative advantage in the production of olive oil. This is incorrect. The option choice is incorrect because this is true, and we're looking for the not true option. And this is true because if Italy holds the comparative advantage in wine, Greece must hold the comparative advantage in olive oil. This is simple definitions and rules. So B must be incorrect. C. Italy's opportunity cost of producing one additional unit of wine is lower than Greece's. This statement is true, therefore C is incorrect, because the definition of a comparative advantage in the production of wine is that the opportunity cost of producing one additional unit of wine in Italy is lower than Greece. This is almost word for word in C. Therefore, the statement here must be true, and therefore the option choice is incorrect, because we're looking for the not true statement. D. Greece's opportunity cost of producing one additional unit of olive oil is lower than Italy's. This statement is true because Greece does have a comparative advantage in the production of olive oil. Therefore, if they produce one more additional unit of olive oil, it would cost them less in opportunity cost than in Italy. Therefore, D is incorrect. E. If trade is open between them, these countries have an incentive to trade. This is correct because whenever a country has a comparative advantage in one good and another country has a comparative advantage in another good, they have incentive to trade for the good they're not producing. Therefore, they would trade, and E is incorrect because this statement is true. And thus, the correct answer is A.